Hi, my name is Patrick Neary. I'm series editor of Maths My Way, and this video is just to give some tips about getting started using Maths My Way with your class this year. Here you'll be able to see the myfolens.ie website, the website for accessing all of your Folens digital resources. And I'm going to start off by clicking into the library to access the Maths My Way material. So when I click into the library, I'll see all of the different books that are available for my school. And Maths My Way is the one I want. I'm teaching third class this year, so I'm going to launch that product. And it's going to bring me into the full suite of digital resources, ebooks, plans, assessments, everything to go with the series is in there. So for this video, we're going to be looking at the topic of place value. So over on the left-hand side, I can click that just to filter everything down to what's applicable to this lesson. I can click on the ebook, and I love this feature with the new myfolens website that when you click launch, after you've selected your unit over here, that it'll bring you straight into the page at the start of that unit in the ebook when you click it. So really handy feature. Along the plan, I have my fortnightly plan, my yearly plan, and my unit plan to go with the topic. So I can click download it, or I can click launch. So I'm going to start off by launching the fortnightly plan to go with the first two units of the school year in third class. So it's following all of the guidance from the Department of Education. It has the headings that are required for your fortnightly planning, and you'll see all of your curriculum information in here. So week one was the revision unit, and so we'll focus more on week two because that's the typical structure of the fortnightly plan. So in the first column, you'll see you have your learning outcomes. So for the place value in week two, it's explore equivalent numerical expressions of numbers using the base 10 system. So that's your main focus for the week. That's the learning outcome you're working towards achieving with your class. Important to remember as well that those learning outcomes are over two years. So this one is for third and fourth class, but it's the one that we're working towards this week. So your main aim at the end of the week, when you're completing your Kuntas Misu, is can you highlight that learning outcome that you've worked towards achieving that with your class? Have they explored equivalent numerical expressions of numbers using the base 10 system? That's your main priority. And everything else, we've broken it down further for you, and there's different steps along the way towards building towards that. But that's what you go back to at the end of the week and at the end of the month. Have they explored those equivalent numerical expressions, and have they used the base 10 system? We have the concepts then from the curriculum as well, and some key mathematical language to go with the topic. And then the week is broken down into 4 main ideas. Each day has a distinct focus of learning. And this is one of my favorite features of Maths My Way, that we have these 4 big ideas. Because in lesson 1, our aim is to identify place value in 3-digit whole numbers up to at least 999. So when you're teaching that lesson, everything comes back to that focus. It comes back to that idea. And it's building on each other throughout the lesson with the slides, with the pages in the book, with the practice pages, that it's all coming towards this one idea and building together. It's not just random activities on a page that may or may not connect to each other. It's all connected to this learning focus. And it's great for helping to see where the children are at, and that informal assessment going on as well. Over then in the next column, you have your learning experiences that are based on what's on the slides and what's in the book itself. And there's all of the other information that you'd expect for your fortnightly plan is here for you. It's all editable, so you can add things, you can adjust things. And the big emphasis, I would say, is always go back to the learning outcome with your class. Every single class is different. Every single teacher is different as well. And the pace that you move through this content will depend on your class, and it'll depend on how the week is going for you. Especially as we move to a new curriculum. It depends on what the children's previous experience is with maths. And like they were using maybe the old curriculum last year. So take the pace at your own level, and don't be afraid to adjust things, to leave things out, and to adapt it for the needs that are in your classroom. As you see from the structure, there's 4 main lessons each week, and then there's 2 practice pages to go with that. So clicking back to the ebook for this week, you'll see there's 4 main lessons. Each lesson has 1 page of the book. So they're the first 2 lessons. The second 2 lessons are on the next pages, and then you have the 2 practice pages to go with them. And the content for the practice pages is mixed from all of the lessons throughout the week, and it goes in the order that the content was covered. At the bottom of each page, you'll see that focus of learning as well that goes with each lesson, and you'll see the resources that are needed for that lesson, and you'll see the teaching slides that go with it too. So where does a lesson start then when you're teaching Maths My Way? So back on the Folens, on the My Folens website, if I click Teach, you'll see the slides and the other digital resources that go with the particular week's work, unit of work. So to start off, I'll go into the first place value lesson that we did this week, and it's lesson 1 to go with place value. Once you go in, it is really important that you click on full screen. So by clicking full screen, you make everything bigger. It all looks better on your interactive whiteboard. You have the digital resources are easier to manipulate and to move around. It just makes everything look better. So make sure when you go in, the first thing you always do is click full screen. Again, you have all the information there for you about this lesson. And then the lesson works through, there'll be a mix of slide-only activities, and then you'll see the book activities coming in on the slide as well. You'll see the characters that come up again and again on the slides to show different ideas and to help just make the learning real. So the first task is probably something the children would do on their whiteboard, where they write a 3-digit number, write another and another, and then it's asking, what do they notice? And this is bringing in our maths talk, our maths language, that they're examining those numbers that they wrote with an example 742 there, and talking about it and really getting them to start to discover the different numbers. You see some of our like an example here of a reasoning activity. So the character says, I noticed 3-digit numbers are made up of hundreds, tens, and ones. And the question is this always, sometimes, or never true? And this sparked great debate in my classroom this week, where some people were saying it was always true, some people were saying it was sometimes true, and then they were justifying why they felt different ways. And it was the huge, anytime there's that bit of debate going on, there's a huge amount of scope for discussing and for building reasoning. Down at the bottom here, you'll see this P icon, and it says click here to use base 10 blocks in Polypad. So while you're teaching this, you might like to show with base 10 an example. So by clicking on that P icon, it'll pop you out to the Polypad website, and the digital resources are pre-populated there for you. So for this one, you might say, for example, make the number 203. And I can pull out the bits that I need. And then if I want to make them look a bit different, I can just select it all and click organize, and it'll tidy them all up very nicely. So I have the number here, 203. And the question is, how does this connect to the always, sometimes, never activity we had? So this number we've made doesn't have any tens, but is it still a 3-digit number? Yes, it is. So those resources are there at your fingertips, ready to go. Ideally, the children would have access to Dean's blocks and things like that in the classroom. But these digital resources are also available to share if you have iPads or other devices in your classroom. So up on Chrome, if I click the 3 dots up in the top right corner, and I go down to Cast, Save, and Share, and go down to Create QR Code, it'll generate a QR code on your screen in front of the children, and then if they have the devices, they can scan that with their camera, and it'll bring them right into this resource. And it's just a way that if you don't have the physical, that at least there's a digital version there that you might be able to use with your class as well. So popping back into the slides, and again, after going back in, I'll make sure to make it full screen. And there's a series of activities that aren't in the student book. And again, all of these come back to that focus of learning. They're all building on each other, and different teachers will choose to use them differently. Like you might be in a rush one day and really want to get to an activity in the book that you really want the children to do, and you might skip some of these. You might, like, there was one activity on this slide that one day we spent almost an entire lesson looking at. It was a great problem that was there was so much reasoning going on, and I just really wanted to spend a bit of extra time on it. So there's a huge amount of flexibility there to use the slides in a way that suit your class best, and to choose the pieces that you want to focus on. And because it's all coming back to that learning outcome, that one learning outcome that they're exploring over a 2-year period, you have that flexibility there. The curriculum is asking you to focus on the children in front of you. These resources are here to make that as easy as possible for you. All of the ideas put together, your maths talk, your top tips, the polypad integration. But you have that agency then to adjust it and to be flexible and make it suit your class. Here are examples where the slides pull out some of the big ideas from what we were looking for when we created the slide. So it explains some of the thinking as to why what is and what is not a 3-digit number, just as an example. Okay. Down here on the bottom left corner, you can click this icon to flick between slides. So on slide 6 here, I see that I have my first student book activity, and it's on page 12 of the book. I can see that in the top right corner, and it's activity A. So all of the activities from the book are also on the slides. And I've found this, even this week, really helpful, because some children are great at moving from slide to book to slide to book, and having the book in front of them. And other children, just having it up there on the slide, that they can focus up there, they have it right in front of them, just the one activity out in isolation. It just makes it easier for some children to access the activities and to focus on what the task at hand is. We have more examples then of activities where different animations are used to help explain what's happening. So here you have your place value cards, where what happens, what number is created when these slides are combined. This is a resource where it's ideal if people have these resources in their classrooms, but we also provide printables when for resources like this that people may not have. So up in the teaching notes, up in the top right corner of the slide, I can click on that, and I'll see I have my unit plan, which is just a bit more information on the unit, and it's more detailed than the fortnightly plan. And if printables are available for the unit, there's also the printables there, where I can click on that and it'll open up the PDF, and I can print them off for my class as well. So if I don't have the actual physical unit or resource, the printables are there as well. So there's so many activities on the slides, and then each time then as it builds, it comes back to the activity in the book. And at the end of each set of slides, you have your extension activities as well. And they're there for children who might need that extra bit of push, or just some additional practice there. Back on the ebook, you have your lesson again, your full page spread to go with the lesson that you're teaching. And then your final 2 pages for the week are your 2 practice pages as well. You have back on the My Folan's website, you have your game as well to go with the unit. And again, you can share the game by clicking share with a QR code for it to be accessed on devices. And you have the math size poster for September up as well, which would be a lovely activity for this time of year. So as well as accessing the digital resources directly from myfolans.ie, once you have the ebook open, you can also click on the resource icon down at the bottom. and it'll bring up the resources relevant to that page. So I see my teaching slides for lesson 1 and lesson 2, my game, my fortnightly plan, my unit plan. I can also click on chapter resources then as well to see the entire suite of resources that go with the unit.